Let me begin with day tonight. We're going to start off with Supreme Court hearing the Waqf laws. Several petitions that were all clubbed. Supreme Court gave interim relief that none of the Waqf properties will be denotified for the moment. Of course, a host of other issues that were debated. And then in our deep dive segment, we're taking you through the ideal retirement plan. If you wish to retire post 45, what's the corpus you need to have? And finally, our viral watch, where a protest that panned out by Students' Union in Delhi, who went on to paste cow dung at the principal of a DU college. A lot more on that. The headlines as always. Waqf showdown in the Supreme Court. Solicitor General defends the Waqf Amendment. The Apex Court fires tough questions at the centre as well. But for now, relief is no Waqf property will be denotified. West Bengal State BJP President Sukanta Majumdar sits on dharna with Murshidabad violence victims. In fact, he's protested extensively outside the Bhavani Bhavan, claiming call for violence was given through masjid loudspeakers and questions the government's silence. Amid language controversy, Tamil Nadu government issues advisory reiterating the use of Tamil language as the official language in all government departments henceforth. Tragic incident from Bengaluru. An auto driver was crushed to death after a metro, a huge concrete brick that was supposed to be placed at the airport metro line fell off while it was being taken on a truck. In fact, an 18-wheeler truck that was carrying that brick fell off while on the way and fell into an auto. The man died. The driver, of course, passed away, with the passenger having a narrow escape. Delhi Chief Minister Rekha Gupta orders an inquiry into alleged school fee hike. She summoned some concerned schools in Delhi. That includes DPS as well as Queen Mary. In fact, parents have sought her help in trying to ease their pain, saying there's been arbitrary 80% and above fee hike in the last few years. Pakistani national kills 2 Telangana workers with a sword at the Dubai bakery. Reportedly shouted some religious slogans before the attack, and here you have families who are urging the Indian government for aid and immediate repatriation. And big relief for Kunal Kamra. The Bombay High Court grants interim protection from arrest to the comedian in the traitor joke case. US Vice President JD Vance and wife Usha Vance to be visiting India next week, meeting with the Prime Minister on agenda. In fact, Donald Trump, the President of the United States, announces that he's willing to pay for tickets to all those immigrants or people from outside of the United States to leave America, saying those who do not have documents are here illegally, leave now, I will pay for your ticket. All right, starting with the Waqf showdown. Several petitions that were filed in the Supreme Court, all of them were bunched up together, and the Supreme Court heard the matter. Of course, it is ongoing, but today we saw a fiery debate that you through a landmark legal battle that kicked off in the Supreme Court today, one that could redefine how religious endowments are governed across India. Over 70 petitions are challenging the Waqf Amendment Act 2025 brought in by the NDA. That's now being heard by 3 judges, in fact 3-judge bench led by CJI Sanjeev Khanna alongside Justices Sanjay Kumar and Vishwanathan. Now, on one side, you have Solicitor General Tushar Mehta defending the law. On the other side, a powerhouse lineup of senior advocates Kapil Sibbal, Abhishek Manu Singhvi, Rajiv Dhawan, and more, who are all calling this law unconstitutional. What's the big fight here? Two key questions top the list. Should the Supreme Court even hear this matter or send it to the High Court instead? And second, which parts of the Constitution this act is violating? Kapil Sibal opened fire in his argument. He slammed the new clause that demands 5 years of practicing Islam to create a Waqf. He calls this rule in the act as an assault to faith. Why should someone prove their religion if they want to be part of the Waqf board? And then he also raised alarm over government collectors declaring land as Waqf without proper checks, saying who are the collectors, what eligibility do they have to declare a land as Waqf, because this would turn them into judges in their own cause. And then he flagged off the scrapping of the Waqf by user policy that was practiced, a long-standing practice that lets properties become Waqf properties through consistent religious use. This is how it functioned all along, but now this new act has scrapped it. He argues, Kapil Sibal says, this could throw nearly 4 to 8 lakh Waqf properties into dispute. Listen in.
We have filed this petition against the Waqf Amendment Act 2025 because we believe that Muslims, just like any other religious denomination, have a right to practice their religion freely, including giving donations to the charity. Today, the Supreme Court, the Honorable Supreme Court, has heard us at length. There has been a simple adjournment, and tomorrow the matter is listed at 2 o'clock for further hearing on grant of interim relief.
देखिए, जो नया कानून वक्फ का कानून है, ये सुप्रीम कोर्ट भी मान रहा है कि बहुत इसमें ऐसी अच्छाइयां हैं जो वक्फ के कानून में अभी तक जो बुराइयां थी उसको दूर करता है। लेकिन कुछ ऐसी जो छोटे छोटे इश्यूज हैं जो सुप्रीम कोर्ट थोड़ा वरीड हो रहा है। जब बहस हुई तो उनके पक्ष से जो बहस किया गया तो उन्होंने पूरे बिल को तो असंवैधानिक करने का उन्होंने बहस भी नहीं किया है। कुछ प्रावधानों को उन्होंने सिर्फ कहा है कि इनको रद्द किया जाए। देखिए, सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने आखिर में हियरिंग खत्म होने के दौरान बड़ा अच्छा चीफ जस्टिस ने कहा कि अब जब हम सुप्रीम कोर्ट एग्जामिन कर रहा है इस कानून को, तो हिंसा तो कम से कम एकदम खत्म हो जानी चाहिए। और ये जो चल रहा है, एक माहौल जो बनाया जा रहा है, एक ऐसा कि कोई बहुत बड़ा रिलीजियस किसी के उसमें इंटरफेरेंस है, वो उसको खत्म होना चाहिए।
Now remember, as much as Kapil Sibal argued on these petitions in favor of cancelling the Waqf Act, you had the Chief Justice of India, Sanjeev Khanna, who stepped in saying that yes, Waqf registration is indeed necessary, but erasing the user principle here might spark chaos. Basically, the user principle is if it's a land that's been used for religious purposes for decades, then basically Muslim community has used it, then it automatically becomes a Waqf land, which in the new act has been scrapped. So just because a land has been used by the Muslim community for as long, it not necessarily is Waqf. That's what, and that they say will basically disturb nearly 4 to 8 lakh properties in the country, and that could erupt in chaos. So Sanjeev Khanna, the Chief Justice, has agreed and accepted that this could be a matter of concern. But he also hinted at dubious Waqf claims, including a stunner that he gave. Even the Delhi High Court tomorrow may be called as Waqf land. Now another flashpoint, non-Muslim members on Waqf boards. The centre says only 2 ex-officio non-Muslims are allowed, while Sibal shot back that even 1 is too many. It violates religious autonomy. While all that argument set aside, interim relief has come for those petitioners. One is no denotification of properties already declared Waqf by courts. Collector proceedings continue but can't be enforced for now, and only Muslims besides ex-officio members can serve on the Waqf board. So temporary relief that's been granted for now until the matter is completely heard. Before wrapping up, the court also flagged off the recent Murshidabad violence, West Bengal, urging calm as the case unfolds. The next hearing on Thursday 2 p.m.
क्लॉज बाय क्लॉज हम लोगों ने अपने पॉइंट्स दिए थे। कई जब डिसेंट नोट दिया गया था हमारे तरफ से, उसमें कई चीजें हटा दी गई थी जो आज से पहले कभी नहीं हुआ था। तो ये मौजूदा सरकार मोदी जी के राज में ऐसे ऐसे करतूत कर रही है जो अनकॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल है। और ये जो बिल पास हुआ डायरेक्ट अटैक है इस कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन पे। हमें पूरी उम्मीद है कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट जो ये वायलेशन हो रही है पार्लियामेंट में इसको रोकेगी।
हमें पूरी उम्मीद है सुप्रीम कोर्ट से कि इसमें हमें राहत मिलेगी और जो ये वक्फ तरमीमी बिल लेकर आए हैं आज उस पर रोक लगेगी। और हम अच्छे से सब लोग तैयारी करके आए हैं और काफी सारी पिटीशन है और सारी ग्राउंड्स को ध्यान में रखते हुए जिस तरह से वक्फ की जमीनों को सरकार कब्जा कर रही है बल्कि करना चाहती है उसके लिए हम लोग आए हैं। और आज उम्मीद है पूरी सुप्रीम कोर्ट से और पूरे मुल्क की निगाहें भी सुप्रीम कोर्ट पर टिकी और हमें पूरा भरोसा है।
Let's see, it's today at 2 p.m. I'm sure that the judiciary in its wisdom will see through the government's unconstitutional policies and schemes.
कि पूरे देश में सभी राज्यों में जिस प्रकार से वक्फ को लेकर बेचैनी थी, उन बेचैनियों को दूर करते हुए सरकार ने वक्फ अधिनियम में संशोधन किया है। ये संशोधन पहली बार नहीं हुआ है, जिसे कुछ लोग असंवैधानिक बताते हैं। बार बार संशोधन हुआ है, एक और संशोधन हुआ, तो इसमें ये कहां से असंवैधानिक हो जाएगा।
All right, now India's justice report is out, and as someone from the south myself, I am certainly a little proud today. When it comes to justice delivery, we are not just doing well, we are in fact leading the way. The India Justice Report 2025 is out, and it's clean sweep by southern states. Karnataka tops the national rankings. Andhra Pradesh takes number 2 with a score of 6.32 out of 10. Telangana makes the biggest leap from 11 last year to now number 3 with a score of 6.1. Kerala and Tamil Nadu round off at the top 5 as well. So there you have it, the chart with Karnataka, and then you have Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Kerala and Tamil Nadu. Certainly a very proud moment for South India. It means every single top spot here has gone to southern states. Now at the bottom of the list, if I could show you, poor performers. West Bengal, followed by UP, Uttarakhand, Jharkhand and Rajasthan. Among smaller states, Sikkim ranks number 1 and Goa comes last. So what exactly is this report judging? To simplify this for you here, the India Justice Report, backed by Tata Trust, ranks states based on these 4 pillars. One is police. Do we have enough police officers? Are women well represented? How trained are they to represent women? Number 2, prisons. How well are our prisons managed? Are inmates treated fairly? Number 3, judiciary. Are there enough judges? How fast are cases being resolved? And legal aid, finally. Is free legal help available to those who can't afford it? Well, there you have it. And southern India ranks number 1. The big red flag, though, is, of course, as part of that report, also says that India has overall just 155 police officers per lakh people, way below than the sanctioned number. In fact, Bihar is the one that tops that list with just 81 police officers for every 1 lakh citizens. And the under-trial crisis is exploding here. 76% of prisoners are still waiting for trial, up from 66% 10 years ago. Former Supreme Court judge, in fact, Sanjay Kishan, in the report's foreword, warns of a tipping point where justice delayed is not justice denied, he says, but also makes people lose faith in the system. That's what he says. If things aren't fixed, then this will push people to lose faith in the system, and we already see glimpses of that. In fact, the former SC judge calls for urgent reforms, from filling courts up with immediate effect so that the trials could happen faster, and police vacancies to be filled up at the earliest to fix legal aid and tackling all case backlogs. In fact, the message is really on the wall. If we have solutions here, why not implement it? All it takes is intent. All right, an absolutely ecstatic day for Karnataka parents. It's certainly for the protesting parents who wanted some ease in rules for their first standard admissions. One-time relief has been granted. After weeks of relentless coverage and countless voices amplified right here on News 9, Karnataka government has finally listened. Education Minister Madhu Bangarappa has announced a one-time age relaxation for Class 1 admissions, a massive relief to anxious parents across the state. For this academic year only, children aged 5 years and 5 months will be allowed to join Class 1. Of course, thanks to a special government order, the Minister of Education, Madhu Bangarappa, very intently heard the protesting parents and decided to formulate a draft and send it to the SCP, State Education Policy Department, to see how best he can ease the pain of the existing parents. And that's what he did. As promised, he has relieved them. The 60-day age leverage now stands officially approved. But here's a caveat. This is a one-time exemption. Come next academic year, the rule will strictly revert to 6-year minimum age, no exemptions. This policy shift follows the final submission of the SCP committee's report, which recommended lowering the entry age to 5 years and 5 months. It marks a rollback of the rigid 2022 rule that mandated a minimum age of 6 years, leaving nearly 5 lakh odd students in a limbo. Remember, parents fought for months. Of course, we highlighted their plight. Many children were caught up in this policy maze. It was tragic to see many of them super disappointed that their friends are moving forward, but they were stuck. Remember, this breather now is across syllabus boards for SSLC, CBSE, ICSE. Today, the parents' voice has been heard. They've managed to shape policy. The campaign that we proudly stood for has won.
Only for this year and state board only, because a state government board is there, not for centralized this thing, because they don't come under me. So only for this year, 5.5 plus they should have completed UKG. That is, then only they can come for first standard for this year only, not for next year onwards. But this has been referred by ACP, that is State Education Policy. We have our own committee, our own board is there where we are guided how to go about. So for this year, usually it is 6 years minus up to grace of 60 days only. But for this year, because the children have already passed their UKG, this thing, only for this year, this relaxation has been given. And Honorable Chief Minister also was telling that only for this year, if you can work out something. So we have worked out with ACP, that State Education Policy Board, and they have directed like this. And for this year, we have done.
Now, there's a big showdown that's currently brewing in Karnataka over the caste survey that was initiated by the Congress party, and their very ministers in the state are unhappy and are not convinced with the survey report. Tempers are rising ahead of the crucial cabinet meeting where ministers will be taking up the controversial caste census report. At the heart of the storm here, alleged inaccuracies in the data itself, and outrage over how castes have been classified. Powerful groups like the Lingayats and Vokkaligas are now up in arms, accusing the government of unfair sub-categorization. The new 2B category, created for just one caste, has triggered backlash, with 101 others left in 2A. Even some ruling party MLAs are quietly seething. Few of them are willing to even challenge Siddaramaiah directly. They've said it. Union Minister HD Kumaraswamy has gone all out, slamming the Chief Minister on the X platform. He's accused the Chief Minister of favoritism and demands a data showing which castes has benefited most from quotas over the past 20 years. It's not just about reservation, it's also about how much have they benefited in 20 years. Do that survey first, is what the opposition JDS says. Chief Minister Siddaramaiah insists that this is not a caste census entirely. It's basically just a socio-educational survey. Priyank Kharge has also backed the same line. But the pressure, of course, is mounting. The powerful Veerashaiva Lingayat Mahasabha has held an internal briefing. They want their ministers, community ministers, to speak out. Minister Ishwar Khandre is expected to do just that. If the cabinet clears the report, it could push reservations up by 75%, a move likely to face legal heat. All eyes now on the meet that will be held on Thursday. It could be a make or break for Karnataka's reservation roadmap.
Probably he does not know what is in this report. So before the report becomes officially, nobody can react also. I also cannot react. But I only urge Honorable Chief Minister to do it, to announce it. Anyway, it is in the cabinet tomorrow. Once it is accepted and put to the purview of the public in Karnataka, a lot of things can happen. This census was conducted in 2014-15. Today we are sitting on 25. 10 years. There must be some revision in some communities that could always be addressed. Let this same communities represent to the permanent backward class committee.
People of Karnataka and the courts had given a direction. Where is the empirical data to give your reservations? On that basis, Sri Siddaramaiah Sahib, the Chief Minister, in the previous term, he had ordered for a socio-educational survey of the state of Karnataka. We welcomed it, and it was quite some time, it was pending for presenting the report in the cabinet. And we are the backward class people who went round all districts and demanded to placing this report. And today the day has come to place the report before the cabinet. The cabinet has been, the report copy has been handed to the cabinet, and they are going through the report, and they are going to come and take a decision. That matter, whatever cabinet decision takes, we will definitely welcome it.
This is more than 10 years old survey. This report was submitted while Mr. Siddaramaiah ji was the Chief Minister in his first term. That was between 2013 and 18. For the last 8-10 years, they kept this report in a freezer. And now all of a sudden, because the 2.5 years term is coming to an end of Mr. Siddaramaiah ji as a Chief Minister, in order to save his seat, I think he is playing this card of reservation. Secondly, the caste census.
Shifting our focus to Kerala, in a fresh controversy that's erupted in Kerala's Kollam district after images of RSS founder KB Hegdewar were found displayed during the Kollam Puram festival. Now there are demands for an investigation as to why temples are being politicized. Pictures appeared alongside icons like Sri Narayana Guru and Dr. B.R. Ambedkar during the Kudamattam ritual on Tuesday night. The Putiyakavu temple, which is not under the Travancore Devaswam Board, TDB as it's called, reportedly displayed these images. The Puram is organized by the Aksharam Sri Krishna Swami temple, with several local temples participating in this festival. So the TDB has sought a report from its vigilance wing now, saying further action will follow. But who did it? Ashraman temple management claims that they were fully unaware of other temples' plans to display RSS leaders' pictures there. They also say that other temples taking part in the Puram were doing all their preparations secretively. So many other temples who were part of this festival, they of course did not reveal that this was going to be part of the agenda, that the temple festival will have politically leaning figures as part of it. The issue comes amid similar controversies like the RSS prayer song that was played at a Kottukal temple recently, and how even CPIM songs were played at Kadakkal. Meanwhile, leader of the opposition, V.D. Satishan, slamming the incident, urging both RSS and CPI to stop politicizing religious places. Remember, a High Court ban in Kerala slammed all political symbols itself at all temples, saying that it's illegal to have any political signs at temple events. That ban is already in place. This clearly is in violation and comes just a few months away from assembly elections in Kerala. Now in Kerala, the education minister is seething, blaming the centre for trying to impose Hindi. Let's show you how. Kerala Education Minister V. Sivankutti has slammed the NCERT for using Hindi titles for English medium textbooks, labelling it as irrational and a cultural imposition. The argument here was about the placement of long-standing English titles with Hindi titles like Mridangam and Santur. The State Minister felt it was an inappropriate move here, and that really undermines India's linguistic diversity, federal principles as well as constitutional values. Well, Sivankutti said, and I quote, Kerala, like other non-Hindi speaking states, is committed to protecting linguistic diversity and giving priority to regional cultural freedom. The argument also included that textbook titles tend to shape students' perception and imagination, noting that English studying students should have English titles in their textbooks. Furthermore, he asked the NCERT to review the decision and withdraw it. He appealed that other state units must reunite against such decisions. So there you have it, Hindi titles like Purvi, etc. They want it changed. Purvi, Santur are all Hindi words according to them, and they say this should be in English. There should be English words and not Hindi. Now ahead of Tamil Nadu elections, seems like there's a lot of tensions that are brewing. Despite the BJP and the AIADMK announcing their alliance, it seems like is doing it very guarded. They're not very sure if they want to jump into the alliance, because it appears that they didn't benefit much from allying with the BJP, but at the same time they want to piggyback on the BJP because of their they've got very less strength at the moment. The BJP will really give them that muscle. Leader of the opposition and AIADMK chief Edappadi Palaniswamy has made it quite clear the AIADMK has tied up with the BJP only for 2026 Tamil Nadu assembly polls and not to form a coalition government if they come into power. Speaking to reporters after walking out of the assembly, EPS said, and I quote, Amit Shah never spoke about a coalition government. We are forming only an alliance for elections. That's it. Now, this comes after Amit Shah's April 11th remark, where he spoke about a coalition government in Tamil Nadu, stirred speculation. AIADMK says only alliance, not coalition. Now, when pressed on it, Palaniswamy blamed the media narrative, insisting that Modi will lead the NDA nationally and will lead the alliance in Tamil Nadu, nothing beyond that. The AIADMK chief firmly ruled out any post-poll coalition government with the BJP. Wonder what AIADMK really means. If Modi is leading the alliance in the centre and in the state, what more are they expecting here? It is an alliance, except they say when they form the government, they'll go their independent way. They're not going to be a coalition partner. Not sure how that works, but clearly shows the AIADMK being iffy here. All right, now we're looking at huge protests that unfolded today by the Congress cadres, workers across India over the ED charge sheet against the Gandhis in the National Herald case. Cutting you through some images there that came in of some of the protests. If you could play out those protests there that came in earlier today. Yeah, there you have it. Many of them were detained. We saw such protests in different parts of the country where Congress workers slammed the ED action, saying this is a way to vilify their party leaders. You had Congress leaders who slammed the ED move, saying this is to cripple them financially, to cripple the Gandhis financially, and there's no truth to these charges. The BJP, of course, has responded, hitting back at the Congress over the criticism of the ED charge sheet in the National Herald case, accused the Gandhis of panicking as their alleged corruption comes to light. BJP has launched a scathing attack, saying that the Congress turned a Freedom Era newspaper into a private ATM.
नेशनल हेराल्ड केस भारत के इतिहास का बहुत विचित्र प्रकार का केस है, जिसमें कि कोई कंपनी जो कि 90 करोड़ की देनदारी में बिक गई, जिसके पास हजारों करोड़ की प्रॉपर्टी थी। दूसरी दृष्टि से देखें तो एक विचित्र केस है जिसमें खरीदने वाले और बेचने वाले दोनों एक ही थे। तीसरी दृष्टि से देखें तो ये बहुत विचित्र बात है कि ये दावा किया जाता है कि ये स्वतंत्रता संग्राम सेनानियों के कंट्रीब्यूशन से और उनकी स्मृति में प्रारंभ किया गया देश के प्रथम प्रधानमंत्री पंडित जवाहरलाल नेहरू जी के द्वारा, और कांग्रेस के दौरे हुकूमत में बंद हो गया। 2008 में बंद हुआ। 60 साल में उससे पहले 50 साल कांग्रेस की सरकार रही थी। तो सवाल उठता है कि क्या कांग्रेस अपने 50 साल के शासनकाल में अपनी विरासत को बचा नहीं पाई?
Now, meanwhile, police have detained several protesting Congress workers. The protest erupted after the Enforcement Directorate filed a charge sheet in the National Herald case, naming senior party leaders Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi as a key accused. Remember, this is possibly the first case where the Gandhis have been charge sheeted. In fact, the protesters who protested were detained for demonstrating against what they call is politically motivated move by the centre to target the opposition using investigative agencies. ED has filed its prosecution complaint at the Delhi's Rouse Avenue Court under Prevention of Money Laundering Act 2002. In fact, the protest which took place in front of the Congress headquarters saw participation from several senior leaders. So it seems like the Congress, by and large, backing the Gandhis and won't let down until they feel the Gandhis get relief.
See, whenever Mr. Modi's popularity is down, whenever there is economic crisis, whenever job losses are huge, the Modi government brings out IT and ED. It has been a decade they are in power, and yet they are not able to fix any charges on any of the ED cases. What is the success rate of IT and ED cases? Tell me. If at all this government, the central government, is keen on finding out where black money is going, where the money laundering is happening, they should start raiding their own offices. How is it that the BJP gets 2,000 donation? How is it that RSS is building over 600 district headquarters? Let there be an audit on that. Let RSS accounts be audited.
Now, in quite a shocking case that sends chills down my spine, if true, an air hostess in Gurgaon has accused the hospital staff of Medanta of sexually violating her. Taking you through the story, a shocking case here that's emerged from Medanta Hospital, Gurugram. The hospital has also released a statement with this regard. A 46-year-old air hostess claims she was assaulted by a male nurse while undergoing treatment in the ICU. She says, and I quote, "I was basically unconscious and sedated on ventilator. I knew something wrong was happening to me, but I could not stop it." The hospital has now issued a statement saying that they are cooperating with authorities, though no allegations have been substantiated yet. This is a Medanta Hospital statement. Medanta Hospital maintains that all necessary documents have been handed over to the authorities. According to the police, the air hostess, the victim here, who was admitted that hospital there after a near drowning incident at a hotel pool recently. She was basically rushed to the hospital there for treatment. She finally was discharged, and then she filed a case stating that she was assaulted while she was on ventilator support and semi-conscious. FIR has been registered under relevant sections of BNS, including sexual assault by a person in authority. In fact, the victim alleges, despite 2 female nurses being present there, no one intervened. The police has formed a special investigative team, seized CCTV footage, questioning the hospital staff now. Women's statement has been recorded before the magistrate and medical examination has been conducted. A big setback for Harvard University in the United States as Trump administration has decided to freeze $2.3 billion in federal funding. This comes hours after Harvard rejected key demands from the government. Remember, Harvard and Trump has been clashing. They've been clashing ever since. Trump has taken a hard stance against all pro-Palestine protesters, many of them in Harvard. Take a look.
U.S. President Donald Trump's administration announced on Monday it was freezing $2.3 billion in federal funding to Harvard. The move came hours after the university rejected numerous demands from the Department of Education, which Harvard President Alan Garber wrote in a letter would allow the federal government to, quote, control the Harvard community and threaten the school's values. The funding freeze comes after the Trump administration said last month it was reviewing $9 billion in federal contracts and grants to Harvard. That's part of a crackdown on what it says is anti-Semitism that erupted on college campuses during pro-Palestinian protests over the past 18 months. The administration has already frozen hundreds of millions of dollars in federal funding for numerous universities. It's pressing institutions to make policy changes, citing what it says is a failure to fight anti-Semitism on campus. Deportation proceedings have begun against some detained foreign students who took part in pro-Palestinian demonstrations, while visas for hundreds of other students have been canceled. In a letter on Friday, the Education Department stated that Harvard had, quote, failed to live up to both the intellectual and civil rights conditions that justify federal investment. Harvard agreed in January to provide additional protections for Jewish students. And Garber said in his letter that while the university is taking steps to address anti-Semitism on campus, quote, these ends will not be achieved by assertions of power unmoored from the law to control teaching and learning at Harvard and to dictate how we operate. To ease any funding crunch created by a cutoff in federal funding, Harvard is working to borrow $750 million from Wall Street.
All right, on that, it's a short break. We'll be right back on the other side with our deep dive segment where we take you through on the best way to retire from your 9-to-5 job. Stay with us.
Beyond better, the new Tiguan R-Line. Volkswagen.
Smash your way to glory at the News 9 Corporate Badminton Championship. Get ready for the ultimate badminton showdown. News 9 presents the biggest corporate championship, a battle of skill, speed and supremacy. Cash prize of 6 lakh rupees across categories. Venue, Pulela Gopichand Badminton Academy, Hyderabad. Dates, May 9th to May 11th. A chance to showcase your talent and make a mark. The court is set. Are you ready? Register now.
I need expert performance. I need my career.
Bharat welcomes the world to a new era of creativity. Waves, World Audio Visual and Entertainment Summit. Connecting creators through Creatosphere. Wave Accelerator. Waves Bazaar.
Where stories, ideas and content go global.
Connecting countries through global media dialogue and Bharat Pavilion.
Shaping narratives and partnerships. Culture, cinema, gaming. Waves fuels the next wave of entertainment.
Connecting creators, connecting countries. Waves 2025.
In the age of OTT platforms, to watch or not to watch? That's the question. Because you are what you watch. It's our review, but your choice to skip it or stream it. Hello and welcome. I'm Krishna Kumar. This is Skip It, Stream It.
Welcome back. Well, we're going to take you through a very interesting story on the ideal retirement plan. What is the perfect retirement plan? Is it about stepping back or stepping into a life that you truly want? A Reddit post by a 42-year-old man has sparked a massive discussion online. Not about money, but meaning. He's never been married, has no kids, no loans, no house or car, but has a 2.5 crore amount saved in his fixed deposits. And yet he feels exhausted. He says, I hate everything. He writes, I am burnt out by 9 to 5, trapped by deadlines and now battling chronic fatigue. He says that he's always stressed and does not see the point of it all anymore. He has financial security here. He has no debt and a possible $1,000 monthly payout after 62 thanks to a short US stint he had. But the bigger question, of course, is if you're financially stable but emotionally wrecked, is it time to log out? That's the heart of this debate because it's not just about his story here. This echoes across age groups and industries. People who want to opt out, not because they failed, but just because they're done. So what's the ideal way to exit the rat race, especially if you're married and if you have kids and EMIs and are still mid-career? Most importantly, what does retirement even mean in a world where staying mentally and physically engaged and fit through work is really the key to aging well? Well, we have our guest joining us, Dilip Chenoy, Chairman, Bharat Web3 Association and former Secretary General FICCI. He's a man who has understanding in business and savings. I'm assuming will give us a way out if one wants to quit early. Dilip, thanks very much for speaking to News 9. What's your magic number to feel financially free? If you want to retire early, what's the corpus you ideally should have? And how do you arrive at it?
You know, I mean, if you look at the different things that have been doing the rounds, right? I mean, the whole acronym, there's a very interesting acronym that has been given to this whole movement. It's known as FIRE. You know, financial independence, retire early, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, and it's actually been inspired by a 1992 book. It goes back a long way. I think Vicky Robin and I think Joe Dominic wrote that. But the different ideas or different ways that were there. The first, you know, the most classic and hard way of doing it was that you save up something and you calculate your life's annual expenditure and, you know, save that much till every year you only take out about 2 to 3% of your savings. So assuming that, you know, it'll take you for 30 years, 35 years, depending on, you know, your income. The other extreme, real extreme thing here is that people in this movement also, you know, become very frugal. They don't even go out to eat. They don't buy gadgets, but they want to live the life the way they want to in terms of the things that they do. And then, of course, there is the extreme which says, okay, I need X amount of money. And if I were to take the worst case scenario, which is a bank fixed deposit or something like that, which gives me 5 or 7% return and I have to pay tax, then they calculate the annual income and then they say, okay, you know, in the example that you quoted, it was 2.5 crores. Some people will say it should be 8 crores. And if you want to live a much more, you know, different type of life, you want to eat out, do a lot of the stuff which you were doing, then of course, the rate would be higher. You could also, instead of, you know, looking at a fixed deposit kind of thing, you could invest in equity and stocks. But given the way the markets are doing currently and the volatility there, I think people will have a different view of that in this current situation.
But that's invested now, then you reap the benefits of it later. It's anyway long term. The stock market, dabbling with it is long term. So you got to do it now. Early entry will reap you that benefit. But nonetheless, do you still believe, Dilip, that people would retire early and not work at all? In your view and wisdom, you've been part of FICCI too. There are many senior experts and advisors on the board there. Do you still see people retiring early, or is it that they retire from the 9-to-5 drudgery but continue to keep their minds and bodies active by being advisors on some board or, you know, just imparting their knowledge? Is that a way also to earn your extra buck?
I think there are different ways of doing it, right? One is mental activity, being engaged, okay? I think irrespective of the age that you retire, being mentally active, doing different kinds of things and contributing to whether it's society or something is very important. Most people actually want to do that, and it's interesting also for health and well-being. You can devote more time to family, to kids, to your hobbies, etc. You could also say, okay, you're going out from 9 to 5, but you're going to do something, 2 hours or 3 hours a day or 2 or 3 days a week, and, you know, continue to earn something to actually go that. So, you know, there are different people, even, you know, there are very interesting owners of businesses who say that, okay, they're going to exit out of the business because the business is very challenging, or, you know, it's not challenging, but their mental makeup doesn't actually lead them to do a business. So they step out of the business, give it to professionals, and only be an investment manager. So different types of people who want to do this, but it's important to be active, important to be busy, because otherwise, it could lead to other consequences.
All right. In your view, early retirement is possible, from whatever I heard of you.
Yeah, actually, I know a lot of people who have planned very aggressively.
Yeah.
So they say, okay, I'm going to save, when my saving rights come in, my saving reaches this. Some people say, okay, I want to do a holiday in India every year, or, I want to chill at home or whatever it is, or want to buy a place in Goa or buy a place up in the hills or in the middle of, somewhere where, it's not the rat race as you kind of talked about it. Others take a different view. But, globally, there's a Pew Center report, which is last year's report. And one of the findings there was that in every country, people want to retire before the official retirement age kicks into that country. And there are some significant number of people, it could vary from 3 to 5 to 8% in different countries that do want to retire at 35, 40. And that's a report. And, of course, that report also talks about things what's the ideal age to get married, what's the ideal age to buy a home. It's a different thing. But I think there are a lot of people who believe and increasingly believe that work-life balance could be there. And if you look at, the new industries that are coming up, Web3, for example, allows you to work remotely, to work part-time and still get paid very well. And, you maintain a work-life balance and intellectually very active. I mean, even if you take one of the founders of, let's say, a very big Indian company in software, he lives in a village in Tamil Nadu, right? So there are different type of people there.
Different businesses demand different environments. I'm in a work culture where I can't work remotely. I have to be present at office. So it depends on the industry.
You did it during COVID.
No, I did not. I do admit that some of our seniors at that point did, but as anchors and journalists, we had to be on the field, we had to be in the studio, we had to anchor. But nonetheless, I enjoy coming to office because that's better for my mental health. To be honest, I feel getting to a workspace, meeting and greeting with people, planning together as a group, that just makes work a lot more fun, and I feel productivity and output also is great.
The alternate to FIRE is a new acronym that has been created by someone, right? She is from Fidelity Investment. He calls it CHILL, Career Happiness in.
Nice.
So that's
nice, lovely. A great message, I think, to end this here. Dilip, thank you very much. I really appreciate your time. I think the mantra is you start saving early if you want to retire early. Thanks very much. All right, now, very interesting story that popped up on the social platforms that's now being debated widely about the lazy Indian. From Tower 17 to Tower 19, that's how far the porter was booked for. A short, cheeky video by a porter delivery boy has now gone viral for the distance he covered, barely a few meters from one tower to the other tower in the same society. This video here, posted by a user on X, shows the delivery executive chuckling as he pans his phone camera. He says, imagine they booked me on porter only to move one parcel from Tower 17 to Tower 19 in the same society in Lucknow. Well, he shows in that video the two towers, also opens the bag and shows what's exactly in that bag, which I'm not too sure is okay. Nonetheless, this is being debated upon. This 2-minute delivery speaks volumes about the ultra convenience and culture that we're all now spiraling into. I'm going to take you through a short snippet of what he said.
दिखाते हैं पोर्टर में एक बेहतरीन सा ऑर्डर आया है। ये देख लो टावर नंबर 17, ठीक है, यहाँ से पिकअप करना है। और वो देखो गाइस, सामने ये 18 टावर दिख रहा है और उसके सामने वो दिख रहा है 19वां टावर, वहाँ पर देना है। इतने के लिए मतलब डिलीवरी आ गई है, किसी ने पोर्टर बुक कर दिया भाई। और लखनऊ में विचित्र लोग है भाई, कभी आपके साथ ऐसा हुआ तो बताना। ये पार्सल कर लिया, पिकअप कंट्रोलर्स जाएंगे।
Walk is also too much effort. Huh? That's exactly what people are asking. Is this out of habit or necessity or plain laziness? We end up outsourcing even movement. And it's not just deliveries. Cities today allow you to live, work, eat, shop, be entertained, all in the comfort of your home without stepping out. From groceries to gadgets, Netflix, of course, Zoom calls, life is coming a long way and it seems to have confined us. But at what cost? Behind the laughs here, a serious question lingers. Are we becoming too comfortable for our own good? Is this good for our mental health? Let me bring in Kanish Gaur, founder India Future Foundation, Neha Agarwal, consultant psychiatrist, Fortis Hospital from Gurgaon. Thanks very much, both of you. Now, in this age, Neha, a quick word from you, Dr. Neha. This hyper convenience that's fueling social isolation. What does it do to your mental health?
See, in today's world, convenience is the king, and we all are slave to it. So when you are a slave, you pay the price, and we are paying the price through our mental and physical health. So physical health, you all know, we miss an opportunity to walk, we miss an opportunity to exercise or have a breath of fresh air. But mental well-being is something which is being distorted most of it because of these quick apps. So you get immediate gratification because within 10 minutes the things are at your home. So the dopamine system, it gets dull. So you don't easily get happy because of the mundane tasks you usually used to enjoy earlier. You want instant gratification, and if that is not there, you feel mood swings. So ours is becoming a culture in which we want instant gratification. So if it doesn't happen, so it can lead to anxiety and isolation, because sometimes we are not interacting because of them. See, simple tasks like going to buy a grocery. When we were kids, we were sent. So we lose not only health opportunity, we also lose so many opportunities like crossing the road, negotiating with the shopkeeper, seeing how the weights are being done, how the vegetables are being weighed, groceries are being weighed. We also lose an opportunity to socially interact with the shopkeeper or someone at that place, and the quick maths that we can do. So it's not just single exercise that we are losing a lot many things. And these small things actually boost our confidence. And so our mental toughness depends on these small tasks. When we do not do such tasks, there is a lack of mental resilience, which in later years will show. Like if we continue this without being conscious about it, in our future generation, we are going to see a lot of lack of mentally, loss of social interaction, and anxiety, depression, isolation. You name it, and there are.
And make no mistake, right, Kanish, you could substantiate. We're not just outsourcing convenience and commute. We're also moving to robots when it comes to working for us. So it's not just isolation from the outside world. Even your maids that you would ideally call in might have some interaction. You're shifting to robots to do your work. And I hear multiple households in Bengaluru, my hometown, have robots working in the kitchens, cooking for them. So where is the conversation altogether? Kanishk, in your years of experience, you're a techie, by and large, you've been one. So how are interpersonal skills among the current employees? Are they easy with talking to one another? Do you see a stark difference? Of course, you have so many startups that are brewing now in the country, and all to make life easy. But what's the cost here?
Thank you for inviting me for this show. Well, the cost here is that convenience sometimes overshoots common sense. From Lucknow's Tower 17 to Tower 19, the distance wasn't much, but for entertainment value and for massive advertisement of companies which are into logistics, this was a fan parade, I would call it. However, it also showcases